across to him. But what does this do to pricing? Also, around 8% of excuse me, around 8% of IndiGo's expenses, Shobhit, are employee related, out of which 4% is pilot related. What happens there? Give us a sense broadly on those two angles.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Sure. So if you see, first on the revenue side, I would like to say, okay, so IndiGo flies around 2,300 flights per day, right? And if you see during the last 10-15 days, okay, from November end till date, so IndiGo has cancelled around 4,000, 5,000 flights cumulative. And from October onwards, if you see, they have cancelled around 7,800. And if these continue till the quarter end, right, till December end, okay, so it will be around 9 to 10,000. So if you multiply daily 2,300 into 90 days for the quarter, so it comes around 2,700. And if they cancel around 10,000 flights cumulative during the quarter, so on the revenue front, it will impact around 5 to 7% on the revenue front. And now on your questions on the pilot, okay. So for the new rule, which is the FDTL, they need to adhere to this rule, right? So they will be needed additional 800 to 1,000 pilots going forward as well. So we believe that around 2% of the pilot cost will increase for them going forward.
Shobhit, if I could
from 4 to 6% type of the revenue.
Right, understood. We also have Captain Sanjay Karve joining in on the show. But Shobhit, if I could just squeeze in one more question with you. We've seen the stock fall in excess of 7% already ever since, this operational turmoil began. Do you see this as a temporary blip? How much more will the stock fall? And if it falls further, should it then become a buy? Because whatever said and done, it's still the largest player in the Indian skies in terms of market share.
Absolutely. So we believe this is a temporary thing, and they are doing everything to stabilize the operation. And within 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we think that all the cancellations will be done. And you rightly said that, yeah, they are the market leader with around 65% market share. Their daily fleet size of 2,300 flights per day. Okay. The second one is Air India, which is around just 1,200, 1,300. And then SpiceJet, Akasa, which is just around 200 flights per day, right? So the frequency, everything. So we believe that this is a temporary blip. And if any further correction, it should be taken as an opportunity to buy.
Shobhit, if you can also give us a sense of the kind of earnings impact that's going to happen, because you have cut in flights, which you yourself said around 5% for this quarter, and if the government goes ahead and brings down curtails the further flights by 300 flights a day, you're looking at 10% of the flights getting cancelled for the fourth quarter, which is coming in. So for the full year, what is the kind of impact which is there? And over and above that, you have a depreciation in rupee, which is impacting the PBT, and then you have the rising ATF prices as well.
Yeah, sure. So for this quarter, we are expecting, because we have seen the historical trend that if such cancellation continues till the end of the quarter, the revenue get impacted by around 5 to 7%, and same with the EBITDA, right? Even in fourth quarter, if government tells them to curtail some of the operation by 10%, so similar kind of revenue will get impacted. On your questions on the forex loss, because 1 rupee depreciation impact around for 850 to 900 crores loss for them. So even in Q2, we have seen 3 rupees depreciation. They have impacted around 2,000. They have reported around 2,500 crores of forex loss. So we expect similar kind of forex loss this quarter as well.
So, Captain Sanjay, let me come to you and give us a sense on what you make of all of the developments. Do you believe that IndiGo has actually been given more leeway typically than another airline would generally have been given? just from a perspective of the kind of market share it commands on the Indian skies?
You have answered your question yourself. It is purely because of its market share that IndiGo has been given the leeway, irrespective of what IndiGo may claim. If you remember last year, SpiceJet had some issues with the scheduling, same with Akasa. And DGCA was very prompt in issuing notices to both the airlines. Here in this case, only when there was a public outcry, the opposition parties got up, the parliament started asking questions. That is where that everyone has got in action. So you have answered your question. The 65% market share is actually playing on everyone's mind. Everyone is worried that what happens to air travel in India. Air India, Akasa and Spice today are not in a position to replace IndiGo's 65%. So they had no option. Let us put it very bluntly, IndiGo has played its cards extremely well by getting its extension. First of all, the rule came into play in June and 1st of November. How did it take them 40 days to realize that they cannot operate any flights? Suddenly they cancelled the flights. So, I have my own views, which are very radical. But IndiGo has played its cards very well. They wanted an extension, which they have managed to get an extension. And even for that notice, show cause notice, which have been issued very late, that is after the public outcry. I can assure you, if there was no public outcry, nothing would have happened. But that appears to me as the basic purpose. There are also unconfirmed reports from IndiGo pilots who say that they were not rostered for flying at all. So, it will have to wait for that so-called inquiry report to come out to figure out what is the actual truth. Everything is hidden. The CEOs are not available when all these things happen. Top management is not available. Everyone is out of Delhi. And the pilots' body claims unofficially that we were not rostered. We were available for flying, but we were just not rostered by the airline. Now, IndiGo claims that it was a planning glitch or a computer glitch. Unfortunately, in today's age, the IT or the computer is the one which takes the maximum flack. Even when we fail as humans, it's very convenient to blame the system failed.
Captain Kave, do you think that this will prompt the government and DGCA to now put in place some guardrails with respect to the kind of market share airline can garner in the Indian skies? Means a 65% market share is like a too big to fail kind of event which is there. So is it now, will the government will be now more cautious with respect to the kind of flights that are allowed for an airline, so that there is no disruption, massive disruption like which happened last week?
I really don't know if it is legally possible to put a market cap despite the competitions committee and things like that, because it's an open market. They are putting in flights. What the DGCA and MOCA can do is, every time a schedule is put forward by the airline for a summer schedule or winter schedule, they must ask them, prove yourself. Do you actually have the crew? Do you actually have the aircraft? Can you actually manage your schedule in the existing framework without asking for any extension and without any breakdown, except for some unforeseen circumstances like weather? Obviously, now IndiGo will claim that this itself was the unforeseen circumstances, which I don't agree. They had notice from January 2024 to act upon it. But they were purely playing on their market share, that I will get away with whatever I want to do because my market share is so huge that no one can afford to penalize me or no one can afford to keep me on ground for long.
So basically, you're saying that it was a disregard for the law and the regulation by IndiGo because it had the market share?
Absolutely.
Right.
Otherwise, 2 years, what were they doing? In first week of December, you're telling us that we don't have the crew. Did DGCA tell you on 1st of December? Did MOCA tell you on 1st of December? 2024 Jan is the car which came into play. So they had close to 23 months to manage this. Nothing happened. No action seems to have taken. In fact, in the winter schedule, if you see, they had increased the number of flights. If they don't have the crew, how did they increase the number of flights? These are the questions which people must ask.
Absolutely. But Shobhit, Captain Karve, thank you both of you for your time.